Back to the Grizzly Tournament Expert Division weekend round, bowl number 3. Here we got a couple of different setups for you because it requires a little more topspin. I have an APOC drive for APOC 6 Plus, and then I also have a drive for Thor's Hammer 5 Plus. So I'll show you both of them. And we also have some wind tweaks on the approach. So I'm definitely going to recommend that you practice this hole 2 to 3 times. Get comfortable with the tweaks and the setups. Give you your best chance at a drop. And you might have to make slight tweaks for the approach based on your pull angles and such. But this will give you great base to start from and a good chance at albatross. So we're going to start with a basic ball. No move target. Switch to your P3 wind 4 ball. You can also switch to a P4 or a P5 wind 4 ball. For the APOC, the spin set is 6.8 top spin, 1 right spin. The adjustment is P3 plus 20% max numbers. No curl, no OP unless you pull into it. If you pull into overpower, use whatever overpower you pull into. Right, and in higher winds and the more headwind angle, I've pulled as much as slightly over a half a ring of overpower. And if you're right around a half a ring or a little bit more, then that roughly plays circle drop overpower for the APOC. All right. We're looking to get around 355, 356 on the drive. That's the APOC setup. P3 plus 20 max, 6.8 top, 1 right spin. Start with a basic ball. Switch to your P3 plus wind 4 plus ball. All right. No overpower unless you pull into it. Now, let's take a look at the Thor's Hammer drive. It's the same start. All right. Start with your Thor's Hammer and a basic ball. Then you're going to switch to your P3 plus wind 4 ball. Same as the APOC. The adjustment is the same as the APOC. P3 plus 20 max. The spin set is 5.2 top spin, 1 right spin. So you'll set up with your Thor's Hammer, basic ball, 5.2 top, 1 right, no move target, full overpower, and no curl. That's the main difference, is the top spin. And with a Thor's Hammer, you play full overpower, right? This will get you right around the same distance as our APOCs with no overpower, right? You can also use an APOC 5 or 5 here, but you'll need a little bit of top spin boost if you want to play a no overpower shot. And you have some top spin boost like a dune ball. You can use that here and play APOC 5. So Thor's Hammer is 5.2 top, 1 right, no move target. Start with a basic ball, P320 max, full OP. APOC 6 plus, 6.8 top, 1 right, P320 max, and only overpower what you pull into it. Both drives should get you right around the 355 mark. For our approach button. So for our approach, it is P3, 20% at slider. We're doing a pin check here. 0 is like we're going for a dunk with our Guardian. 0 is 65 slider. 1 is 67. 2 is 70 slider. Plus 3 is 73 slider. Plus 4 75. Plus 5 is 77. Plus 6 is 80% slider. Plus 7 is 82. plus 885, plus 987, plus 10 is 90 slider, plus 11 is 92 slider. That's for Guardian 8 and 9. It's max backspin only. And there's a couple of things that we're going to need to note on this drive. So we're setting up with our second bounce 3.5 lines above the pin. And we'll have either the right side or the left side touching based on wind strength, right? So 3.5 lines up, winds below 7, you'll have the right side of the second bounce touching. And so if it'll allow me to click on this, I will zoom in and I'll show you. So 1, 2, 3, and then 0.5 up there with the bottom of the second bounce, all right? Now, in winds below 7 miles an hour, 6.9 or lower, you'll have the right side of the second bounce touching the line, 1 line right of the pin. And in winds 7 miles an hour or above, you'll have the left side of the second bounce touching the line, 1 line right of the pin. So you'll either be setting up to the right side of that line or to the left side of that line based on wind strength, right? Below 7, you set up with the right side touching it. Above 7, you set up with the left side touching it. Both of them will be 3.5 lines above the pin, like shown here. All right. The only other adjustments we have are wind angle adjustments, and I'll go over that real quick. And they're fairly simple, but it can seem a little complicated if you don't practice this. You know, it might sound like a bunch, but it's not. It's not really once you're familiar with the shot. So this tree is our base right here. This is what we're looking at, this tree. All right. So anything center line right of the tree is our crosswind angle. Anything left of the tree is our headwind angle. So actually anything in the tree and left is headwind angle. Anything right of the tree and right is our crosswind angle. If you're in the crosswind angle right of the tree, you want a minus 0.2 from your adjustment. And if you're anything left in the tree or left, you want to add 2 clicks of overpower in winds above 7 miles an hour only. In low winds, you don't need to add anything as far as OP goes in headwind, right? So it sounds like a lot of information. Take a moment, practice this a couple of times. Get your pulls. They're both straight pulls, right? So we're trying to pull as straight as possible. But get comfortable with the shot. Get familiar with the tweaks. Sounds like a lot, but it's not really a lot, right? In low winds, you set up left of the line. In high winds, you set up right of the line. In crosswind, you minus 0.2. In headwind, you don't do anything unless you have 7 mile an hour plus, and then you only add 2 clicks of overpower, right? That's the standard setup for this shot. It's going to give you a really good chance. The only thing you may need to tweak from here will be maybe a slight pull angle tweak here or there, or you might want to shift your starting position slightly left or right, depending on how you're coming into the hole. But if you practice this 2 or 3 times, there's a really good chance you walk away with the albatross here, right? So let's show you the drop. Here we're in the crosswind angle for this one. We're going to minus 0.2 from the adjustment and get the drop here. All right, I'm just going to show you the drop. I've already went over all the tweaks. P3 plus 20 at slider using the slider numbers that I gave you. Bottom of the second bounce is always 3.5 lines above the pin. It'll be right or left of the pin, depending on wind strength. And then the crosswind angle minus 0.2 from the adjustment. And the headwind angle in winds above 7, add 2 clicks of overpower. And that's what we're looking for right there. Okay. So practice a couple times. Hit perfect. Get you an albatross. Hope you get the drop. Good luck. And we'll see you on the next hole.